So good morning everybody, my name is Rob Lawrence, I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Richmond Ambulance Authority, and this is one of those meetings where we require you to have your phones out and not put away, first of all. PulsePoint is the application that we're introducing today, and in any out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, seconds count. The quicker we can arrive at a patient, whether it's a first responder, whether it's a good Samaritan or bystander, or whether it's the emergency services, it makes the difference between life and death. What if we could identify where someone's having a cardiac arrest and identify a good Samaritan in very close proximity to get first aid, or in particular, of course, CPR to that patient? What if we had an app that would identify the location of the cardiac arrest victim and also the good Samaritan or bystander to that location? Well, this app, PulsePoint, is here today. And so this is what we're going to do and introduce to you this morning. So I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mayor Jones. Sir, thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for coming for this very important announcement and this very important improvement to the quality of life in the city of Richmond. We had intended to do this on last week, but due to the tragedy at the Greyhound bus station and the unfortunate loss of State Trooper Dermeyer, we decided to put it off, and we're doing it today. We have some of the greatest first responders anywhere in the world, and we want to express our appreciation to the men and women who do such a wonderful job of taking care of us and taking care of our emergencies. We couldn't ask for any better group of first responders than the first responders that we have here in the city of Richmond. But even with all of their expertise and with all of their good intentions, they can't be everywhere at the same time. They can't be everywhere at the time when they're needed to be at a particular emergency. And so that's why this is an important announcement today. We know that Richmonders have always stepped up to the plate. They've always lent a hand to their fellow man. And that's one of the reasons that I started the initiative called Neighbor to Neighbor, which is a model of utilizing volunteer service. And this app is going to work along the lines of Neighbor to Neighbor. And I'm pleased today to talk about PulsePoint that will use that model. PulsePoint will empower everybody in the general public the opportunity to provide assistance to victims of cardiac arrest. And as mayor today, I want to encourage all of our citizens who are CPR certified to sign up and to download the app and to be of assistance to us in this endeavor, because all of us know that in just a few minutes we can save somebody else's life. And so we're very excited about the app today, and we are excited about bringing this mobile life-saving technology to our community. We believe that it is a real step forward in terms of increasing the quality of life for our citizens. The PulsePoint app will be of great assistance to our first responders when seconds count. And we also want to mention, and I think you're going to be told a little bit more about, a second free app called PulsePoint AED. And that is a app that will allow the public to report and update AED locations so that we'll know where AED locations are, and it will assist people in getting to the equipment they need to help save lives. And so this is a very big announcement for us today. And let me also mention that we have, in the city of Richmond, increased the availability of AEDs around City Hall. As a matter of fact, we have installed AEDs on nearly half of the floors in City Hall, and we're assessing other buildings in the area to make sure that we can do our part in making sure that we have the accessibility of these AEDs, along with this app that will help us save lives when second counts. You'd be amazed at all of the people who are qualified to use this equipment, who are qualified to do CPR, scouts, lifeguards, nurses, doctors, all of the people who are in the room today. They're qualified, and the message I'd like to get out today is that if you are qualified, please sign up for this app so that you can be a part of our team that helps to save lives when minutes count. Thank you very much.
So thank you. Our second speaker is the Operational Medical Director of both the Richmond Ambulance Authority and the Richmond Fire Department, and dare I say is also a cardiac arrest survivor himself, Dr. Joseph Ornato.
Cardiac arrest is a condition in which the heart suddenly and unexpectedly stops beating. When that happens, within just a few seconds, the person will collapse to the ground and appear lifeless. The good news is that if a bystander performs CPR quickly and effectively, they can double the odds that that person will survive. If that layperson can either get an AED and use it, or have someone respond with an AED and use it to shock the heart back to life, we can double again the person's chance of survival. So this is a really, really big opportunity for us to save more lives. Every year in the United States, about 400,000 Americans die of cardiac arrest. That's the equivalent of 2 jumbo 747s full of passengers crashing and killing everyone on board every day of the year. So this is a huge public health problem. And currently, PulsePoint, along with an effective emergency medical services system, affords us the best opportunity to save more lives than ever before.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Renato. We'll now just have a short 90-second video that illustrates how the system works.
She's not breathing.
And now to that incredible rescue, all thanks to a very smart app for your smartphone. Watch this big man spring it into action. We got a message.
So the message is very simple. You can download the app from the App Store, no matter which mobile device you have, that the PulsePoint and PulsePoint AED is there. I'd now like to introduce Bill Hobgood from the City's Director of Information Technology.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm the project manager. I'm very honored to do this project. It's been a long time coming, as Chief Creasy and I were discussing a few minutes ago. But this, over my 42-year tenure with the City of Richmond, this project is one of the first where we're actively engaging the public to go out and save somebody's life. And this is really going to make a difference. Hi, Tom. Sorry, I had to speak to Tom Nolan because he co-championed this project, and I'm glad to see you here. When I saw the demonstration about 3 years ago in Las Vegas at a conference, I said, this is something that Richmond has to have. And I came back, and Lieutenant Nolan was the acting director here in charge of 911 at the time, and he helped to present, co-champion the project, and we acquired funds from the 100 Club, and which is an extension of the Retail Merchants Association, and we did some presentations. They did agree to fund $20,000 towards this project. It went through City Council, and it's become a reality. So as the mayor said, we were scheduled to do this press conference last week, but we did not because of the unfortunate circumstances. And the fact of the matter is, the underlying message on April the 1st would have been that saving somebody's life is no joking matter. And that remains the underlying theme today, that saving somebody's life is no joking matter. And now I'm going to introduce to you Chief Tracy Thomas, who will tell you about the AED program.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning. Chief Thomas with Richmond Fire Department EMS Coordinator. The app that you just saw enables first responders to be able to receive an alert on their smartphone when they're in the immediate vicinity of a cardiac arrest patient. The second component of the app that we spoke of, the AED Respond app, enables providers to be able to download an app on their cell phone, walk over to a wall, take a picture of an AED that is on the wall, simply snap a button that adds that AED to the database. The administrator of the database then is able to validate the presence of that device, record some additional logistic factors about that device, the brand and some of the date products in there, so that when you receive a call on your smartphone, you know not only where the cardiac arrest victim is, but you receive very specific instructions on where the closest AED is. So you would receive something that might say, on the ground floor next to the main bank of elevators. So if you were the responder, you would be able to send somebody to immediately retrieve and bring you that AED so that you could use it, so that now your CPR and the use of an AED has quadrupled the chance of survival for that patient. It's a very simple app to be able to download. Once you get the app, it will show on a map exactly where both the cardiac arrest and the defibrillator are, and it will enable us to be able to begin CPR and defibrillation within the 5 minutes to 6 minutes that the EMS responders are arriving. This app will be phenomenal for the city of Richmond. It will save lives, and so our challenge to you today is help us identify all of the AEDs in Richmond. We'll add each and every one of them to the database so that your loved ones and citizens and visitors to Richmond are safer because of it. Thank you.
So, as Mayor Jones said, we want everyone that's already trained in CPR to sign up immediately for the app, please. Also, we want to continue our mission of the public safety organisations in the City of Richmond, and that is to teach everybody to deliver CPR. And if you are a school, a group or an individual and you'd like to learn CPR, there is a programme that lasts approximately 30 minutes, hands-only CPR. And if you'd like us to come out and teach you, simply go to cpr@raaems.org, and then we can assist with either the fire department or, of course, the ambulance authority in coming out and teaching groups to deliver that. Of course, the more volunteers, the more Good Samaritans, the more PulsePoint responders we have, the better it is for survivability of those with out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. There is more. With the PulsePoint app, once you downloaded it, you could also monitor activity and emergency response activity inside the City of Richmond. We're in the Department of Emergency Communications here. As a call comes into this location, if it's a call for a fire, whether it's a brush fire or an industrial fire, actually that alarms also on the PulsePoint system. You can also go into the mapping and see where the calls have been roughly located, let's say, in the last 24 hours or the previous 100 calls. And so the citizens can actually see how busy the system already is, in addition to being alerted to the presence and location of a cardiac arrest as well. And so there is much, much more of this app just to see how busy your public safety organisations are inside the City of Richmond. So our message is, let's make it happen, RVA. You've heard all of the speakers here. We're very, very clear. We want to enlist the citizens to help us save further lives, and we have the technology now to do it. And so that's the end of the formal piece of the conference. I think the Mayor's got maybe 5 minutes or so more for questions. Once we've done that, we can then go outside and do it for the benefit of the cameras, do a short demonstration on how it would play out for real using our team to reenact a cardiac arrest. So any questions from anybody? Thank you. So we're just going to talk you through what would happen. So when somebody has an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, and this could be a scenario just such as this in the lobby of the Department of Emergency Communication. So someone has gone down, their heart has stopped beating, they're in active cardiac arrest. A bystander will come along first of all and discover that this is happening, and so a bystander is going to come along and discover somebody's happening, and the first thing he's going to do, okay, is check for a pulse. He may not have been trained in CPR. However, what he's going to do first of all is call 911, and that'll get him through to our emergency communications centre.
Hello.
I've had a male down, he's not breathing. It's 3516 North Hopkins Road at the Emergency Communications Center. No, he's not breathing. Please hurry.
Now, if our bystander doesn't know how to do CPR, our call centre will instruct them and talk them through how to initiate that CPR. So that's one of the first phases of a call for a cardiac arrest, and we call that dispatch life support. And so they're going to ask him to put the phone down, put it on speaker, and talk him through how to do CPR. Now, at the same time, the system has identified that there's a cardiac arrest going and has sent that alert to the PulsePoint app. If you are a PulsePoint first responder or a PulsePoint responder and you are within 500 yards of that cardiac arrest, it will send you an alert. And that alert will give you the location of where the CPR is, or where the cardiac arrest victim is. It will also identify, thanks to the PulsePoint AED app, where the closest AED is. And so if you have an opportunity to collect the AED on the way, that will enable you to arrive on scene with an AED and of course help out that person that's already delivering CPR. So someone's been alerted and he's arrived, and look, he's got an AED as well.
I'm a first PulsePoint responder. I have an EMD.
Seconds count, and so the average response time for first responders in the city is about 5 minutes. So that is enough time to alert our PulsePoint first responder and to get them there to begin compressions, or to assist with compressions in this case. One of the things we've discovered with the person that makes the phone call is sometimes they may be a relative, sometimes they may actually know the victim, and so may be a little bit upset, and assisting with CPR can sometimes be difficult. So therefore the presence of this PulsePoint responder who is there dedicated to assist with CPR can make a real difference.
Stand clear. Analyzing now. Stand clear. Stand clear. Push shock button. Start CPR.
So this is in near real time. While all of this is going on, both the fire department are sending first responders, and so is the ambulance authority. And so within a few minutes we'll have somebody on scene.
Sir, the fire department and the ambulance authority are here. Can we assist you? Tracy, will you take over doing compressions?
Thank you for doing this. Please stand aside and talk to us in just a few minutes about what all you've done.
What all have you done, sir?
I just applied the AED and chest compressions.
And how many shocks have you done?
Delivered only one shot.
So seconds count. If we can put an extra responder onto the scene and that responder has an AED, then we can save more life, we can improve outcomes. In addition to the world-class first response service we already have in the city of Richmond, this is an extra link in survivability. Any questions, or would you like us to do something again? Or